Vice Rector, Professor, thank you very much for that introduction. I'll send it to my mother-in-law in the future. I need the video. No, without kidding, it's great to be back in Slovakia. It's great to be back in beautiful Bratislava. Since I became Secretary General now last year, I have visited your neighbors in Hungary and in Poland. So it was time, it was about time to make an official visit to your fantastic country. And it is an honor for me to speak at your prestigious university, named after the father of modern education, Jan Amos Comenius. Like so many of the great minds of the 17th century, he was ahead of his time. He believed in universal education and that education for all could promote peace and unity among people and nations. And I feel a connection with Comenius. His last 14 years, amongst his most active and productive, were spent in my own country, in the Netherlands. He lived and worked in Amsterdam, and he called it the jewel of cities, the glory of the Low Countries, the joy of Europe. I personally have never looked at Amsterdam in that way, but I think he's right. Schools are named after him across the Netherlands, including in my own hometown, The Hague. And my old university, Leiden, awards Comenius grants. Comenius was forced from Moravia into exile because of conflict, the brutal 30 Years' War. We all know that throughout history, conflict has scarred this continent. Preventing war is what we work for every day in NATO. And the theme for our discussion today is building stronger defenses, the path to securing our future. I personally went to university during the Cold War, but I saw it end, thanks to democracy standing strong in NATO. The countries of Central and Eastern Europe were forced to join the Warsaw Pact and back the Soviet Union. When the Iron Curtain fell, those same countries joined NATO voluntarily. We welcomed Slovakia to our family in 2004. And we are all safer and more secure as a result. NATO's policy of enlargement has been one of the great success stories of our time. Alongside the enlargement of the European Union, it has helped to erase many of the painful dividing lines on our continent and bring us much closer to the long-standing goal of a Europe whole, free and at peace. While NATO got us through the Cold War, we have a hot war raging just next door. We all want the fighting in Ukraine stop as soon as possible, and that we have a lasting peace, a durable peace. We have all seen what Russia is capable of. Russia's economy is now on a war footing. It is rebuilding its forces much faster than expected. And it has teamed up with China, with North Korea and with Iran. As you know, there are lots of talks these days on how to end this war. What are the security guarantees that would be needed? And how to ensure lasting peace in Europe? But even when the war in Ukraine ends, danger will not disappear. Security is under threat, here in Europe and around the world. We must be prepared for intense global competition. China continues to challenge our interests, security and values. NATO can defend today, but that is not a given in 5 years' time. In a more volatile and dangerous world, we must invest more in our own security. We must do this to prevent conflict and protect our way of life. 2/3 of NATO allies now spend 2% of their GDP on defense. And it is great that Slovakia is among them. Together we are making progress. But during the Cold War, allies had to spend far north of 3% to keep them safe. We are spending more and doing more in NATO today. But we are nowhere near where we need to be. We need rapid and we need radical change. NATO is strong, but we need to be even stronger. We have robust plans in place to defend the alliance, but to implement them in full, we must have more resources, we must have more forces, and we must have more capabilities. The new American administration has been very clear about its commitment to NATO and about its expectation for all allies to carry their share of the burden. And I think that is only fair. We don't just need to spend more, we also need to ramp up our defense production, so that our militaries have what they need to protect us and to deter anyone from even thinking about attacking us. We need a quantum leap in our collective defense. But why does it matter to students like you? Because security is the foundation of everything. That is why it matters. Education, opportunity and prosperity. Without peace, progress is impossible. I know from my time as Prime Minister in the Netherlands that there are difficult debates when deciding budgets, prioritizing resources and allocating more funds for defense. We all want better schools, universities and hospitals. But we also have to invest to defend what is important to us. Because when there is insecurity and instability, economies and societies suffer. At the beginning of NATO in 1949, we had 12 allies. Today, we are 32. So we must be doing something right. Slovakia does not stand alone, and it will never stand alone in NATO. Today, I went to see the NATO forces stationed in Slovakia to protect you and the alliance. There are soldiers deployed here from the other side of Europe, from Spain and Portugal, and friends closer to home, and here too, Czechia and Slovakia, Slovenia and Slovakia. They all stand shoulder to shoulder with forces of this beautiful country. And you have the entire alliance behind you. I know that as I speak to you today, I'm speaking to the future of Slovakia and therefore the future of Europe. You represent the next generation of leaders, thinkers and innovators. You will shape the policies, the technologies and ideas that will define your future and keep me safe in old age. And a strong NATO means a secure future, where you can study, work and build a better tomorrow without fear of war. I urge you all to engage with the challenges of our time, ask the tough questions and push for solutions. Whether you pursue careers in defense, diplomacy, technology or in any other field, you are the future. We need your help to prioritize peace, security and stability. NATO is here to protect 1 billion people on both sides of the Atlantic. Our mission is to protect you, your friends, your families and your future. Without strong defense, there is no lasting security. Without security, there is no freedom. And without freedom, we cannot live our lives the way we want to. Building security and stability requires commitment. That means investing more in defense, standing together, and remembering that peace is never guaranteed, only protected. And that is why building stronger defenses is the path to securing our future. And that is what we are doing at NATO. Thank you for listening. This was only the beginning, because now we will start the conversation. But first an applause for my speech. Thank you.